Okay, hey guys. I figured I'd address a few questions that came up. One was, personal question in my own mind, was what was the deal with these, these little bumps that you see everywhere? So I dug some of them with a razor and didn't really get any answer. It looks like that's clean metal under there, so it wasn't like there was a big rust bubble there, so I'm not 100% sure what that was. If it's just bad application or what. There's a fairly, I'd call it a thick layer of Bondo here. Like there's about a 1/16 of an inch anyways. And that's not what I would expect it to be skimmed over the whole body, but maybe it's just here. There may have been a patch here. Maybe I just happened to hit it exactly along the seam that was there, but who knows. The other question I had was, am I dropping the engine out right now? And the question is, no, not yet. I'm going to try and be systematic about it so I don't pull apart too much at once. Work from the front to the back, like I said. This video is slightly out of sequence. I'm actually filming this after the bit where I easy off the inside of this front compartment to get rid of all the grease that somebody slopped in here. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to work from the front to the back, fix the rust in here. I think I'll start with that big patch at the back, and then I'll do some of these other ones that are here, non-structure, or the hidden understructure ones, like up in here along the front. Repair the brace that ties it into the to the side body, all that sort of fun stuff. I think that this front part is actually a very large part of the work, but then again, I'm hopefully not going to be too shocked by what I tie into as I work my way back. Anyways, what I'm working on today is I sprayed this down with oven cleaner. I wiped off this piece of aluminum since that would be bad for it to get doused with drain cleaner, or sorry, not drain cleaner, with Easy Off. I just used one of these these pump spray bottle things for oven cleaner. It's a really effective degreaser. I've used it before on engine blocks and it works really, really well. I've always avoided getting it into the internals of an engine or on machined surfaces, but here it's hardly a big deal. I made sure not to get it on the wiring harness because I didn't want to get that done. I think some did drip down at the end of it, and I'll hose that off. Oh, that was brilliant. I put that thing there, set it at 20 minutes, and didn't start it. Okay, well, I guess in 20 minutes from now, I'll spray this down. That's what they recommend leaving it for on a cold oven, so I'll assume that's what you'd want to do for this thing, to degrease it. I might actually come in here and try and scrub it. I'll come in here with a wire brush and give it a go and see if that loosens up any of this stuff. But after that, I'm going to hose this all out, and I think I'll go at it in here with a wire wheel just to take this down so I can see how bad this is and see how much of that I have to cut out. It was my intention to delete these drain plugs for when you're dipping the body, or when they dipped the body originally, because you don't really need them now, and I'm not that worried about that much authenticity. But I do want to know how much cancer there is here. I did find when I was doing some other stuff there's some rust there, but that's not that big a shock since obviously I had all this corrosion here as well. I'm gonna have to rebuild that. I don't think it'll happen today. But what I am gonna work on is I dragged out this thing that I bought a while ago. It was one of these Proline sets that Princess Auto was selling at some point, or I imagine they still sell them. And I want to give a try at some metal shaping, in particular, like reproducing some of those contours that you see, reinforcing contours you see in like say floor pans or something like that. There isn't anything really that complicated there, just a crease, but it's a crease that kind of tapers out into and dead ends at a curve in the metal, and I just want to try and reproduce that as a bit of practice. But unfortunately, I think HPR, showed a lot of metal shaping with a chisel, and now that he's went to Underground Auto 1, I don't think he's got any of those videos up anymore. But if anybody knows of them, wants to just PM me any of those videos, or if they know where somewhere else where there's those videos are, I'd appreciate linking, sending me links to them, and so I can have a go at watching them. I bought this thing a while ago and then never really did anything with it, so it'd be nice to know how to do it other than just kind of fumbling around myself. Okay, there it is after the first application. It looks a lot cleaner in here. Even took some of this glue, this piece of carpeting was glued to the, I don't know what you want to call it. It's not really a firewall, but that wall. Took some of that off. Took most of the grease off in here, but by the time I was done, my wire brush is choked with grease guck. So I'm going to give it one more application to clean out some of these things, like these light buckets. They cleaned up better, but not great. And I'll do just the floor of this thing again, because that seems to be the worst part of it. And then we'll start wire wheeling. Okay, well, while that second application of Easy Off is easy offing, well, that messed her eyes. I went and I took the wire wheel to this spot because I was curious. I couldn't understand it. It looks fine. The metal looks perfectly fine under that spot. There was a fair layer of Bondo there, like I said, about a 1/16 of an inch, which isn't unreasonable, but it's puzzling why. So anyways, I will probably hit this with some rust killer just to keep it from rusting, because I won't come back to this for a little while. But just the curiosity got the better of me. I think I'll turn you guys off and I'll hit this, because now I'm curious about that spot as well. What's going on there? Looks like perforation, but who knows? Okay, no surprise here. There was some perforation. Well, actually, there was a slight surprise. There was a previous patch. You can see it was megged here, or is welded in here, but it looks like meg. And then somebody had bronzed it along the front edge, which I find interesting combination. There's about a 1/4 inch of Bondo here, but there really was no reason to build it up that much other than to cover this up. I think that was just another one of those examples of somebody just doing a slapdash job here and building it up as much as possible here. I'm going to have to figure out if I can get one of those vacuum attachments that I keep seeing advertised on YouTube for my angle grinder, because if there's this much Bondo in the rest of this place is going to be a dust cloud when I'm done. Regardless, so no surprise there. Still waiting for Easy Off to activate. So I'll rust kill this stuff just to keep it stable before I get to it, and we'll go from there. Okay, that's probably about as good as it's going to get. I didn't get a lot more out of it. So at this point I'll let this dry a little bit, and then I'm going to go in here with the angle grinder and the cup wire wheel, and we'll take a lot of the stuff off the floor of this thing down. And probably at that point I'll rust kill it all, because that rust killer actually works quite well. It's rust converter, but whatever you want to call it. See, it's already turned that black, so that should be good for a little while there. Almost had some kind of purple runoff. Anyways, okay, so I've been doing some stripping in here. I've been trading off between 3 different angle grinders. I use these 2 until they get too hot to hold, and I use this one until I can't hold it. And yeah, it takes quite a while to do this. Seam sealer is the worst stuff. Makes a hell of a mess, but the paint isn't so bad. But nevertheless, it doesn't look too bad in here, not as bad as I thought back here. Looks to me like I could get away with cutting out, a section about like that. and bring it up to, you know, like some good metal, you know, somewhere along here somewhere, and then back down to here. But then I'd have to rebuild the plug that goes in there. So I was kind of half thinking about, you know, just cutting this out, you know, along here and then along there. But then that doesn't look symmetric, and I don't know. Might be just as easy to just cut that out and just weld in the whole patch. I'll figure it out, don't worry. Couple of things I did find, and one was some perforation here on this piece. which wasn't so surprising since there was some, you know, up in here on this support piece, and right in here on this one. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to patch this piece first. Then I'm going to take my blocks and I'm going to move them off the front suspension points and move them back up underneath the cross member, front suspension cross member here. And if you can see it, yeah, you can kind of see it. Yeah, there you go. And then that can stay there for most of the time that I'm working on the front end here, because there isn't anything in that area that I need to repair. But there is stuff here that I need to repair, and there's stuff up underneath where the supports are that I need to repair. Not a lot, fortunately, but there is some, so it'd just be easier just to move those back. So I'm going to continue with this, and probably that's it for the day, because I don't think there's going to be much else to show you here. I'm not going to start cutting that out until tomorrow. I'll probably come in with just a plasma and cut it out. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to cut this out along this seam, you know, come up like that, and then along down there, and we'll just won't worry about where those holes were. And I'll practice my my metal shaping skills, and I'll chisel a groove into that to give it that bit of support that it might need, or maybe I won't. That's just going too far. If I'm deleting those, who cares about that? It's not a major structural part, I'm sure. Hey guys, I couldn't leave it alone. I never can. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut out along here. Hopefully you can see the line. If you can't, it comes up fairly high along here, all the way around both both drain plug holes, and then across the top, obviously. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut across here, and I want to see if this springs apart significantly. If it does, it means it's under a fair bit of tension. If not, then it's just no big deal. Up here, I'm not going to cut along that line. I'm going to cut further down because the suspension cross member is right behind it, and I don't want to, you know, hit it with any of the plasma arc. So I'll do that part with the zip saw, and I'll be real careful. Okay, so nothing like getting to it. Grab my straight edge. See if we'll wreck my ruler. And we will get going here. Yeah, I gotta figure out a better way to clamp this. Maybe if I do it that way and I actually clamp it. Okay, give me a second here. Boss eye protection, eh? All the bright lights underneath. Okay, nobody under there. No tension in that. That undercoating stinks. I suppose I should have stripped it first. Okay. So I'll freehand the rest of it, and we'll see how we go. I'll try to move around a bit so that I don't put a whole bunch of heat into one area. Not quite where I was wanting it to go. Finish this off and we'll try again. I'll trim that with the zip saw to get that close to where I want it. Well, we'll try the roller again. Nah, I can't. I'm better off to freehand it. Yeah. Take it straight across there. There you go. Cut out. So I'll do the rest with the zip saw, and we'll make a big patch for this. I don't know if we'll do it tonight, but we'll see. Well, I've taped a piece of poster board to the back side of this so that I can make a template. Shouldn't be too big a deal. Something seems oddly familiar about that shape there. I don't know. Anyways, guys, happy Father's Day, and I'll see you tomorrow.